All right, and welcome back to The Guys Next Door, brought to you by Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing. I'm your host, Ron Arenas, with my co-host, Pastor John McLean.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yeah.
You're jamming over there.
I'm just happy to be back, man.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like any more than a week away from the show, and it's just, I
Yeah.
feel like I'm missing something. This is one of my most favorite times of the week.
Well, cool. Good. I'm glad that I can share that with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You are the reason why, buddy. You're the ball
Oh.
of sunshine in my life.
I'll give you your payment later.
Thank you.
Today we have one of our good friends over here and one of my cycling partners, Luis Hernandez from Hercor Insurance.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
How you doing?
Doing great. Thanks for asking. Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's a pleasure to see you again. When you first came in the studio, seeing you in a tie and all dressed up, looking like a fancy man, I didn't recognize you because the last time you were dressed like a superhero when I saw you when I was playing basketball.
That's
So-
right.
Yeah, we're on our mountain bikes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's
So,
exactly right.
but the good thing is I did recognize Ron still, so that worked out really well. But thank you, from me for joining us on the show, and I definitely look forward to us talking about this cycling connection, because I know this is near and dear to Ron's heart. I can imagine it is to yours, because it's like the cycling, it's like you guys are a fraternity or something. I'm not quite sure. And then, I certainly want to hear about the insurance side of things too. I know before the show you were talking about how insurance is so boring, but what isn't boring is saving money and is learning about stuff in regards to liability and even in regards to making money, which I think a lot of people don't even realize, whether it's life insurance or disability insurance or et cetera insurance that you're going to teach us about probably even better. It could really change lives, change legacies. So hopefully we'll be able to dig into that a little bit. And I don't think that's boring at all.
That's not.
Yeah.
So what kind of
Complex.
insurance do you provide?
Our focus at Hercor Insurance Group is business owners like
Okay.
yourself, Ron,
All right.
and 5 employees and above. But we handle pretty much all types of insurance except for health insurance,
Ah,
Okay.
okay. Yeah.
and we have some experience with it still.
Yeah.
hmm A weird question, but do you have a favorite type of insurance, just personally, that you like to work with, deal with, help people with? That's kind of like your niche insurance.
Workers' compensation insurance.
Okay.
Really?
Tell me more.
That's interesting.
There's a lot of misconceptions, a lot of people that don't pay too much attention to either what they're paying, their classifications. They
Mhm.
might have employees that are only doing office work and they're categorized as being up on a roof
Yeah.
or fixing your HVAC,
Mhm.
like Ron,
Right.
and they're paying 5 times more of what they should be paying.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's
you have
important.
your field people and your office people.
Right.
You definitely want to make sure that everyone is classified correctly.
Exactly. And we're, as insurance agents, we're kind of like attorneys. We're fighting for our clients and
Mm.
also looking for the best interest of the insurance company and making sure that you're paying what it's correct or the
Yeah.
right amount. Because insurance companies are trying to protect their asset or
Mhm.
their company and make sure they're charging the right amount of premiums
Mhm.
for what the risk represents.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Very
So-
cool. Very cool.
Yeah, and I guess so. Workman's comp insurance. You're talking about business insurance, or working with the different type of businesses, 5+ employees. You said. What are some of the other insurances that businesses should consider outside of the workman's comp?
Great question. It's the general liability, most importantly.
Mhm.
A lot of times you might own a building. It's important, but as much it's stress has been around, like insuring properties. You don't want to be sued.
Mm,
Yeah.
Be trapped in a lawsuit and just lose everything you worked so hard
Right.
having. And the average we do a lot of trucking insurance as well. And in 2014, the average settlement, like above like $100,000, was $240,000. That's what the attorneys would shoot for.
Mm,
And
Mhm.
then before the pandemic or around the pandemic, it was like $1 million. As of today, and I'll be sharing with you guys that article. It's at $24 million.
Mm.
Oh.
What they're going
Wow.
for.
Wow.
So
So you
It's-
want to cover your assets
Yeah.
Yes.
for
Definitely. Yeah.
Well, to answer your question, I think an umbrella, a business umbrella or
Mhm.
excess policy, and a lot of businesses are starting to require that
sure.
up to
Yeah.
$5 million.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of times when you have to go work at a different business or say Pima College or something like that, they require an umbrella just to make sure that everything is covered when you step onto the property.
Exactly.
Nice. And let's cycle over to.
I see what you
You
did.
like
Yeah,
that?
Okay.
Yeah.
You're thinking
The
about
fun
that for a
stuff.
couple minutes.
Yeah, well, we were talking about before the show. You were participating in Tour de Scottsdale, or I don't know if that's the name of it. I'm gonna butcher this whole thing.
We did Tour de Scottsdale earlier this
Okay,
year,
and then Tour de Tucson just recently.
just recently, yeah.
So speak to that, and just I guess your relationship with cycling, and you know how it's been such a pivotal part of your life, whether it's your own personal health, your family life. You know, we were talking about before the show. We're both are fathers to many children, but we both got 18-month-old babies. Speak to kind of your cycling life a little bit, and I guess it'll probably also talk to this relationship you have with this big lug over here as well.
Yeah. So this is gonna be history. So
Yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm ready. I'm
We're
ready taking
recorded.
notes. What's my pen? I got it.
And you said you play basketball, you deal with those injuries,
Mm.
and it's funny because back in August of 2013, when Ron and Jeff got us started into cycling, I was pretty tired of the stress around playing baseball, and I love
Mm.
baseball.
Mm.
It's just that it requires so much excellence
Mhm.
from you, and
Yeah.
cycling does as well. But there's so many injuries around playing baseball, and I
Mhm.
was dealing with the same thing that you're dealing with.
Yeah.
And I was just tired of it. And as I'm getting older, I'm sitting at a desk a big part of my day.
Yeah.
And then I started getting to cycling, learning more. And anything I want to learn, I get really focused.
Mm-hmm.
And like I was saying, telling Ron, I toured the Scottsdale. I didn't do too well. There was people that didn't even train, and they were ahead of me. And I was like finding all types of excuses why I didn't do better.
Mm-hmm.
But right after that, I sat down, registered to do platinum, and I said I was going to do platinum. And I think there is on the book Think and Grow Rich, it talks about how whatever the mind of man can think, it can conceive.
Yes.
Mm.
Yep.
And I said I'm going to do platinum. Like it should be easy.
For the Tour de
Mhm.
Tucson.
Right.
Yeah.
And to be honest, it was under 5 hours, 4 hours and 52 minutes,
Mm.
and I did enjoy riding for those 4 hours and 52 minutes.
Mhm.
Right as soon as I finished, as Fernanda, my wife, was looking at some of our other friends
Mhm.
that ran for a team. She's like, how come everybody looks tired and exhausted and you don't? Like, and I think it was part of training. It's just like everything we do in life.
Mm.
Like you focus, you train, you have discipline, and
Yep.
and I try to excel at everything I do.
Mm.
Yeah. That was a huge accomplishment. It really was.
Thank you. I still
Yeah.
don't believe it. I pinch myself, see if it's true, and
Mm-hmm.
I think I was up until last week. I did my 7th ride. Before the tour, I was doing like 3 or 4 a week,
Mhm.
maybe 5,
Yeah.
and I was pretty strong by the day of the race. And when I tried to do a 3-hour ride, I think I was telling you, and I felt so tired this last Saturday. And it's funny how fast you lose condition.
You do.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's something you really do have to stay on top of.
Exactly.
But you feel great when you're doing it. I mean, if you stay on top of it and you stay in shape, then it really it makes the rest of your life a little bit easier. You know,
Exactly.
you're a little bit more mentally focused. You feel better. You know, you wake up feeling better. You go to sleep at night feeling better.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's right.
How would you? I mean, this question is to both of you guys. How would you say the integration of this has helped your mental health and helped kind of just keep you sound, not only physically but just like mentally as you're traversing all the other stuff that we deal with in the world?
Right. For me, it's my therapy. It really is.
Mm.
I need to be out there riding. Luis does some training on a stationary bike. I can't do that. I need to be out there looking at the birds flying by or something, or whatever's out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can guarantee you, Ron enjoys it more than I do.
Yeah.
For me, it was like commitment, being platinum. There was some level of stress. Like,
Mhm.
I can remember the word you used, but meditation for me is gonna be cooking.
Oh,
Not
okay.
being on the bicycle or going
Yeah.
to the gym. Like that's when time stops. But
Mm.
but being on the bike, I love it. It's just that it helps me
awesome.
like filter a lot of my ideas as I'm
Yeah.
riding.
Yep. Yep.
Well, how can people get a hold of you and utilize your services?
We're over at 3795 North Oracle, close to the Tucson Mall,
Okay.
between Wetmore and Prince. And my personal cell phone number is 520-264-4334.
Awesome.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me, guys.
We'd
Pleasure.
like to thank our sponsors, Crest Insurance, Piper Family Painting, Tucson Tamale, Steamy Concepts, Tucson Pack and Ship, and Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing.
Absolutely. And also go to commongoodtucson.com to find more about the show, as well as to plug in with all the cool stuff that we're doing, as well as go to veteranrescuemission.org to support the work that we're doing to help homeless veterans. We'll be right back after the break. You guys stay there being cute with your little cute little noses. I see you, little cute nose. You're not fooling me.
All right. Welcome back. Man, that was such a great
Yeah.
episode. Yeah.
That was cool. I mean, do you just have you the past 5 years just been going on like a journey like David Carradine and what was that movie? I think it was Kung Fu, where you just went on a search for cool friends and you found them, and here you are to show them off to the world and show us how much cooler you are than us. I could live with it.
Not me. It's my friends that are cooler
that's true.
than all of us. Yeah.
But you're guilty by association.
Okay, I'll take that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we have another one of our cool friends.
We do.
Yeah, here in studio, and
Tell us about them.
he is about 6 foot tall.
Yeah.
I'd say about 220 pounds. Just
205.
205.
close.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. I wanted to round up, make it a big, strong man. And he
205 of muscle.
and,
a little bit, yeah.
yeah. And I've known him for almost a decade now.
Yeah.
We first met when he was donating his time at the same place I was volunteering my time. I guess volunteering is an appropriate word. I guess you don't really donate. I guess you can donate your time. I don't want to get lost on this. So we're both volunteering at a homeless veteran camp named Bravo Base, and I was the chaplain. He brought a group of foster kids where he worked at to help clean up at the place. And just as soon as we met each other, just like you and I, fast friends, just like, okay, I don't know how we haven't been best friends our whole entire life, but we are now.
Yeah.
And then I started my homeless veteran veteran rescue mission, and he brought that same group of kids every single month to help out. And then I was like, I don't know why I love you so much, but we got to do something more. And at that same time, he started becoming a motivational speaker and coach, and I twisted his arm, and I was like, hey, let's do a radio show together. And he took me up on it, and that radio show was Common Good Radio Show.
I've heard of that.
Yeah, you've heard of it. Yeah,
I have.
I think I've had you on it once.
I think so,
Yeah,
maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah.
We both have horrible memories, but but yeah, that gentleman is Andreas Ruiz, who he's a world-renowned coach and speaker, and he went from being what would be your average guy next door to a outstanding guy next door. So I'm proud
thanks,
to
man.
Yeah,
call
I appreciate
him
that. That's very
one of
kind
my
of you.
best friends, and he
Thank
is
you, man.
in our sphere of influence.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, man. Just really honored to be here with you guys. I haven't been in the studio for a while, so
Okay.
yeah, it feels nice to be in the studio today, especially with you guys.
Well,
So,
thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. We love having you with us.
Yeah, thanks, bro. I appreciate
Yeah.
it.
And he brought his sultry radio voice, so what more could you ask for?
Ah. Yeah, man.
So you were I don't know if you caught it. You maybe saw it online on Facebook, Andreas, but our wives took over last week.
I saw. That's cool.
Yeah, and they X'd out the guys, and they did the
I like
girls next door.
They did.
That's
yeah.
cool. I like
Yeah.
that one.
Yeah, and I'll give your feedback.
Well,
on it.
I was just I heard it first time on Sunday at 4:00.
Mhm.
So every Sunday at 4:00 is when the guys next door are on.
that is a fact.
But last week at 4:00 on Sunday was the girls next door,
Mm.
and I just I came to a conclusion that our wives are really serious.
They're super serious, for
and
sure.
they're married to a couple of goofballs.
We are goofballs. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean they performed in that show. Just they were on task and they were deliberate in
Yeah.
everything that they said, and they did a tremendous job.
Yeah, they
really
prepped
did.
beforehand
Yeah.
even. Which
Yeah.
Oh, really?
It
Okay.
almost seemed like a foreign idea. So it's like, so you prep beforehand?
Yeah.
That's a good
Yeah,
idea.
they were on.
Yeah.
The three of them were on a Zoom call and
Mhm.
figured out
Yeah.
what they're
Oh,
going to talk
wow.
about.
That's-
And yeah,
That's interesting.
Yeah, it was
Yes.
pretty awesome.
pretty professional.
It was super professional. We could learn a lot from them.
We
for
could.
sure,
We
for
could.
sure. We're not gonna. We probably won't do it, but we
Right.
could
Yeah.
learn a lot.
Yeah, we have. We might have the potential to do
Yeah,
it. but-
yeah. You know, old. They know what they say of old dogs and the
Yeah.
tricks and all that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. But yeah, it was super cool. For me, it was just like, I always love. Both of our wives. Your wife, I like to see her in a professional setting or in a setting to perform,
Mhm.
because it's a reminder how impressive she is.
Yeah,
Like your
I
wife,
agree.
she's brilliant. She's sharp. She's like kind of like she knows how to kind of take control of the ship when she has to.
Yeah.
But in the same, she can be a jokester and super fun and one of the most lighthearted people. So it's
Sure.
it's awesome to be able to see that side of her. Which obviously she's your wife. You get to see that all the time.
Right.
I don't get to. But with my wife, the side I do get to see all the time, which is usually that side,
Mhm.
in the household. But then on the radio, being your wife's color
Mhm.
commentary person,
Yeah.
that was actually pretty fun to
Yeah,
see my
it was.
wife not necessarily lay her hair down, because her hair doesn't lay down, but to lay her hair out, and really kind of just have fun, which I love seeing my wife and your wife
Yeah,
together. They
yeah.
just have so much fun
They
together.
do. They do. They're a
Yeah.
good couple.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then also getting to see both of our wives show how smart they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. And obviously my wife, has a PhD in clinical counseling. So for your wife, to not only give her a platform to speak to that, but to show that, okay, yeah, you got that degree, but I got some education, I got some experience too, so
Right.
we can have a full conversation about this. And in Brittany Gutman was the third person that was
Oh,
there
okay.
with them.
Cool.
It was nice kind of having those three perspectives, which was, in the last kind of 4 or 5 minutes, hopefully we can do a similar conversation where they were talking about burnout.
Yeah.
And Ron's wife talking about all the different kind of layers in her life that she has to deal with, and how she reaches these different burnouts. And she was talking about how she's had these burnout points almost every decade, in her life, in her 20s, 30s, 40s, etc.
Wow.
So I'll open it up to you, Andreas. Definitely being the kind of the motivation speaker, you speak about mental health regularly in schools and with adults. Give your feedback on kind of like burnout and how you deal with it, and then we'll turn it over to Ron, because I'm sure he has some good advice.
Yeah, well, for me, it's my morning routine. When I wake up, I meditate for 20 minutes every day. I do yoga for 25 to 30 minutes, stretching, and then I work out for about 30 minutes to an hour. Like I'll walk, because I have a under the desk treadmill.
Ah.
So while
okay.
I'm working, I'll be typing some stuff up, sending some emails, and walking for about 50 minutes, and then after that I take a cold shower. And I've been taking about cold showers for about 5 years. That has been total game changer, and I've already started the day in a way where I'm ready to take on the day, and that's something that has helped me out tremendously. Another thing that's helped me out is just saying no
Yeah.
when I don't feel like doing something. Is transformational for me, transformational for my clients, because I just coach business owners and entrepreneurs, and one of the things that I've noticed is that they just don't know how to say no because of that people pleasing. So it's that if you do those things, I think that you can definitely overcome burnout. Just the saying no is a big one, but that's kind of what I've seen. Just
That makes
take care of
sense. I
yourself.
mean, and that definitely in regard to what Janae and my wife were talking about, is like that's a big part of it. It's like if you take on too much stuff, no matter who you are, no matter what it is, you're gonna burn out.
Yeah.
That's just a gimme. So what about you, Ron? What are some of the stuff that you do that in regard to getting burned out, or what you deal with to prevent from getting burned out?
Yeah, definitely. I fight burnout kind of on a constant basis, and it's all self-induced because I take so much on. I do put too much on my plate, and I get it done most of the time, but there's just too much on there. And definitely this upcoming year, I'm lightening my load a little bit. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, and actually I've seen that of you even this year. I mean, that's advice you gave me, I think, at the beginning of this year, was I mean, kind of like what Andreas was saying no more,
Yeah.
because you were at a point, and also delegating more, you know, bringing on other people to do more tasks, because you're saying at one time you had 100 tasks per day, you'd get 20 of them done, and you'd feel guilty apologizing for the other 80 all the time,
and then the new day would come and there'd be another 100.
And that was your existence. So
it's
I mean, I've learned a lot just even in that little conversation we've had.
Yeah.
So, and for me, I guess kind of to close out this idea, where I avoid burnout, it's certainly giving a lot of time to my family.
Yeah.
I think that's certainly where most of my life I've spent so much time in a foxhole worried about money and kind of getting my things together. I haven't focused enough on what is priority, which at this point it feels like it's my 18-month-old baby, just because she's the most sensitive person in the house. But and
you'll never get that time back with your kids.
Absolutely,
you won't. So definitely you need to spend time with your family.
Oh yeah.
And I say it all the time, but part of my therapy is just on my bike.
Yeah.
There you go.
That just kind of clears my mind.
Good.
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Well, yeah. Well, this, as we tried to be as serious as our wise, I don't know. 50-50.
Got pretty serious right now.
I got pretty serious.
Good.
Yeah,
That's pretty good.
Our year-end segment of seriousness.
Be proud.
Yeah.
We tried.
But thank you, Andreas Ruiz, for joining us. For those who want to utilize your services, how can they do that?
Yeah, they can send me an email at ibelievecal@gmail.com, or you can send me a text at 520-392-9179. I'm also on Facebook, Andres Ruiz, Instagram, Andres Ruiz Motivates, and then LinkedIn, Andres Ruiz.
All right. And we'd like to thank our sponsors, Crest Insurance, Piper Family Painting, Tucson Tamales, Steamy Concepts, Tucson Pack and Ship, and Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing.
Nice.
And as always, want to thank you for listening to the Guys Next Door radio show. You can go to YouTube, you go to Facebook, you go to Instagram, go to TikTok. We're everywhere. We are there. Definitely also go to commongoodtucson.com to check us out there and listen to some of the past shows, as well as veteranrescuemission.org to find out more about the work that we do to help homeless veterans. If you're a veteran out there and you need assistance, call us at 520-329-9192. And remember, everybody, wash behind your ears.
Merry Christmas, everyone.